Hey boat lovers, welcome back to the channel, to another episode of building Dragonfly, my 53-foot flat bottom wooden river cruiser, my one-man project. Right now I'm having a walk around the garden about 7 o'clock in the evening after a long day in the shed boat building, and it's a stunning evening. There's a full moon up behind me, I don't know whether you can see that, and a stunning sunset on the other side of the property. It's been a really interesting week. We've had kangaroos up quite a few times this week in the mornings, and I managed to get some footage of them a couple of days ago. It's tricky because I can see them quite clearly in the mornings, but they're always in the distance, and when I get close enough to film them, of course they all take off like crazy. But I did manage to get some shots of that, so I'll show you a bit of that footage, and then I will show you what Millie, the wonder dog, and I have been up to this week with our boat building progress. Stick around. Well, how special was that? A whole bunch of kangaroos down there. We do get that quite often in the mornings, but there were some big boys today. Apart from kangaroos, we also get koalas, bandicoots, echidnas, kookaburras, or galahs of course, white cockatoos. It's kind of almost like a nature reserve here. Fantastic place to live. Absolutely love it. Well, that's the sound of the cockatoos right on cue. Mention the white cockatoos and they all start screaming. Fantastic. So Millie, being a rescue dog, is not without her issues. She has a little bit of fear aggression. So I'm trying to socialise her, and a few times during the week I take her to the local shops, walk around, sit down, have a coffee, etc. And she doesn't like people coming up to her, but she's getting used to people being around, which is a great start. And as you can hear from her in the back, maybe you can see her. Is that you there, Millie? That's a girl. She's puffing away because I give her a run before I take her to the shops to get that energy out. And then she settles down really well and she puts her ears back and relaxes. So I think a couple of months of doing that should really get her much more used to people. Unfortunately, we got her, like a lot of people, when at the beginning of COVID, and as a lot of people have had issues with, their dogs haven't seen people or hardly any people. So I'm trying to socialise her after the fact, really. She's 2 years old now, and it would have been great to get her started when she was 8 weeks old. But she's doing really well, and it's good for me too because it gets me out of the shed and out of the house for an hour in the morning a couple of times a week. So good for Millie and good for me. It's only about a 4 or 5 minute drive into our local township, and I'll walk Millie around the town for a little while first, Hopefully there's a few people around. That makes the walk worthwhile for her. And then I'll go to our local patisserie and have a croissant or a quiche or something and a nice morning coffee, which should get me going for this afternoon. It's still only 11 degrees. Crazy. Although we're warming up during the next week right up to 32. So I think the weekend's going to be good with 27 degrees on Sunday, warming up to about 32 degrees during next week. I would call that a success. We walked all around the township for a good half an hour. Nobody got eaten, barked at, growled at, or even looked at. Millie ignored all the people and was just interested in smelling everything along the way. I stopped and had my coffee, and she sat under the table, didn't take any notice of the waitress or people walking past. So that was a great improvement, and I would consider that a major success. Well done, Millie. Good morning. It's about 9 AM. It's been raining all night. Today is my clean-up day. I'm going to take those clamps off from all my gluing yesterday and do some major tidy up. You coming with me, Millie? Yep. So my whole boat shed is a complete mess, and this morning I'm just going to get everything as tidy as I can. So I've got a nice clean workspace for the next part of what I need to do, which is to continue on the bow thruster housing. So better get into it. I'm going to take these clamps off, put those away, and then get stuck into the tidy up. Yesterday morning I put another layer of plywood on the box that's for the bow thruster. So now it's 24mm thick walls. I'll show you a little bit of that, and I'll take all the clamps off. There we are. That's yesterday morning's effort. I'll get a little close up there. You can see I've got 2 layers of 12mm ply around that. So that's going to have the bow thruster in it. I'll get all those clamps off in a minute. There's the bow thruster itself in there. The bow thruster tunnel. All right, let's get these clamps off and clean it all up. This is what it looks like inside my bow thruster tunnel. It's taken a couple of months, but finally Millie's decided she's happy to lie in a bed while I'm working, as long as she's got something to chew. Good girl, Millie. Is that good, is it? Right, enough of that. Let's get back to some boat building. I'll give you a bit of a tour of where I'm up to, and then I better stop filming and get back into building. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 stringers in place. I'll give you a little look along the side there. Got the first bulkhead in place there. Okay, let's start from the pointy end and work back. You can see the stem post with the stringers notched in. Come around this side. There you can see that large oversized knee that's in place, running back to my notorious bow thruster housing. There's my inspection points from each side, so I'll be able to access the bow thruster prop if I get weird on it. Inside I've got some nylon runners, so we won't be wearing out wood and fiberglass. We'll have nylon against nylon. Now there's my first bulkhead, and just a bit of an idea of where the bed's going to go there. And as we move back, we come to the next bulkhead. That bulkhead there is the wall for the bathroom. Come around past that. So that's going to be the bathroom in there. And then we'll be stepping up through that central space onto the wheelhouse floor. Here's the retractable bow thruster in progress. There's the fiberglass tunnel just sitting there in place, ready for fiberglassing and gluing into its correct position. And down inside, I've just set the actual bow thruster mechanism in there. So that's where that's going to go. So my next job is to complete that before I can move on. I'll give you a quick view from the back looking forward. You see the wheelhouse bulkhead, and then stepping down into the bathroom bulkhead, and on the other side of that, the bedroom, with the bedroom bulkhead being at the front. So I'm standing at the back of the boat now. As I walk forward, you see those milk crates there. The top of those is actually where the wheelhouse floor will be. So from there we would step through this opening and then down there onto the floor. That's going to be about 4 steps down because that bathroom floor will be raised. And then from there, we move forward and you'll go down 1 step into the bedroom. All right, boat lovers, that's where I'm up to at the moment, and that's pretty much it for this week. So Millie and I will get stuck back into it and see what we can achieve by next week's video. Thanks again for watching. Bye. I hope you enjoyed this week's video. If you did, please click the like button down below and remember to subscribe. I will see you all again next week.